Hey YouTube, welcome back to another one, and we are gonna be talking about more football, but in this video it's gonna be a little different. We're not really gonna be talking about IRL. We are gonna be talking about fantasy football, like you saw in the title, the top 3 players you should trade for in your fantasy football league if the deadline has not happened. If that has happened, we'll forget about it. Maybe you could pick up these players if you're in a really good league, but other than that, let's get straight into the video.
Could be us. So back to what I was saying. Could be us. Could be us. Could be us. Could be us.
The first player you should trade for in your fantasy football league is David Montgomery. Now, some people in the comments are going to be saying maybe like, oh, David Montgomery has not had the greatest season so far, and really, he's not really had that starting position a lot so far this season. But as you look, like right now, as of we're going to week 12, I'm pretty sure, or week 11. I forget. But as we're going into this next week, I think it's week 12, the Bears have a somewhat easy schedule, and I'm about to name off some of the teams that they're playing. So the 2 games before your fantasy football playoffs start they play the Lions and the Texans, 2 teams that have literally given up some of the most points to running backs for fantasy points to running backs this season. Now, if your team's going to make playoffs, well, this even gets better for you. They play the Vikings and the Jaguars. I think they're basically 1 and 2 teams that have gave up the most rushing yards or fantasy rushing points to running backs this season. And another key thing to this one is Nick Foles just got injured, so they're not going to put too much faith in that third-string quarterback. I can't really name him off right now. It's not at the top of my head. But they will be running the ball a lot more. Now, number 2, we got Jordan Reed. This one is a little more interesting as a tight end in this league, but as I could tell, a tight end in fantasy football is very, very critical. This is so because really there's only Kelsey and Kittle who's been injured this year, and other than Kelsey, every other tight end gets like less than 15 a week. So that's why having Kelsey is a big difference. He's actually on my fantasy team. But the thing with Jordan Reed is not Kelsey, my bad. Kittle is out, and Jordan Reed is going to be taking that spot. And especially with Deebo Samuel and Raheem Mostert coming back. And the last and final person that you should trade for is Nick Chubb, which is a very interesting one because he's been injured for a long time, which has gotten fantasy owners mad at him, which they will sell him a little lower than they usually would any other years. He came back 2 weeks ago, so they might be a little more happy with him or so, but you could trade for him, and this next week he's playing the Jaguars, which he will get points, and if you're going to make playoffs, oh boy, yeah, you want him. He plays the New York Giants and the New York Jets weeks 15 and 16, and those are both playoff weeks. If you move on, he'll play the Jets, which he will do you good. I'm telling you, that Nick Chubb, especially, even though he will split some carries with Kareem Hunt, he will get the majority of the carries. He's really proven that for the last 2 weeks or so. But don't expect Kareem Hunt to not get any points, though. He will get points. But I just think maybe since Nick Chubb's coming back, a lot of fantasy owners are somewhat mad with him. Because he has not really been playing. So they will definitely not sell him as high as they would in other fantasy football years. But that's going to wrap up this video, guys. Pretty short. Yeah, I just want to express my thoughts on fantasy football. Just comment down players that are on your fantasy football team below. And yeah, see ya.